looks so tasty. I hope Walter gets here soon so I can eat it. Oh, hi friends. Walter, do you like the gingerbread house I made us? Sounds like we need to do some gingerbread renovations. Anyway, it's time to start the show. Welcome back, everyone. I'm so excited to learn about God together. Are you ready to see the mail? The mail's here. Let me pop it on the ground. Alrighty, let's see what we got. Everyone, look at today's craft. It looks like there's a star, baby Jesus, Mary and Joseph, and the little house they're in. It looks so cool. Let's look at today's mystery item. It looks like a sign. Wait, what does no vacancy mean? What's that, Walter? It's something they put in front of hotel buildings when they don't have any free rooms for people. It means it's all full. That's so cool. I wonder what that means for today's message. Do you know? I guess we have to go watch Preach Part 1 to find out.
Okay, have you ever tried to play a video game that you've seen other people play, but you were just not as good as your friend, and maybe it made you a little bit frustrated? I know for me, when I was younger, there was a video game that was coming out. It was all over the news, it was all over YouTube, everyone was super excited about this brand new video game, and I was the most excited about it. I even pre-ordered the game. In other words, I'd already bought the game even though the game wasn't out yet. And so in the build-up, I'm watching other people play it in the testing phases, and I'm watching all of the news articles about people saying how amazing this game is. I'm watching other people crush the game, doing really, really well. And finally, I download the game, I load it up, and instantly I fail. And then I try again, and I fail. And I try again, and I get a little bit further, and I failed. The game was super hard. And even though I had been so excited in the build up to this game, reading all the instructions and watching other people play the game and getting super excited, I was not enjoying the game. It wasn't turning out the way I thought that it would turn out. And I remember one night I'd been playing all day, and it was about 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and I'm sitting there with my mouse and keyboard at the desk and my arms are crossed and I'm just head back. And I'm thinking, is it worth it anymore? Should I even bother trying? But I made a decision. I'm not going to give up. I was really excited about this game. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to have a sleep. I'm going to ask for some help, and I'm going to come back and try again. And so the next morning I got up, I called a friend and I asked for some advice, and it turns out there's a few little tricks I didn't know about, and so I jumped back into the game, and it was still difficult, but eventually I got past the first level. That's how hard the game was. And then I crushed the first level. Yes, I made it. So then I went to the second level, and it was still really hard, but I didn't give up and I kept going, and I crushed the second level. And after an entire day of playing again, I finally finished the game. You see, sometimes in our lives, we can have things that we're looking forward to, or things that we're excited about. Maybe someone's told us some exciting news, or maybe you're going on a trip or a holiday and you're super excited about what it's going to be. But then when you finally get there, it doesn't turn out the way you thought it would turn out. Maybe it's more difficult than you thought. Maybe it's harder than you thought. Maybe it's not as fun or as exciting as you thought. And so sometimes we can get a little bit disheartened, which just means we can feel sad about the thing that we were originally happy about. And just like with that video game from earlier, we make a choice. Are we going to keep trying, or are we going to give up? You see, this week while we're continuing the Christmas story, we're actually looking at the moment that Jesus was born, and that it was meant to just be a big, happy, easy moment in Mary and Joseph's mind. I'm sure that they were excited about being the parents of Jesus, and that it was all going to be smooth. But instead, things went wrong, and it was difficult, and it was challenging, and it was hard, and they could have given up. They could have given up on the excitement that was to come. And so a little later on, we're going to take a look at the story of the birth of Jesus. We're going to see what challenges that Mary and Joseph faced and what they did, and we're also going to learn what we can do when things don't go the way we thought they would. But we'll talk about that in just a minute.
That was a great preach from Buckle. I loved it. But look at today's craft, everyone. I think it looks pretty cool. First, I did the background in a pattern. I did green, red, green, red. Then I drew the star in yellow. Then I drew the little house in brown. Then I drew the people in a different shade of brown, and then for baby Jesus, I did it in a nice little yellow. And I did the background in red and green because it's Christmas colors. What do you all think? I really want to see your crafts. If you have a parent, guardian, or teacher, they can take a photo and send it in to us. Walter said he really wants to see your crafts. Well, are you ready to hear today's Bible story? Let's watch the animation together.
This is Mary, the same Mary that would go on to become the mother of Jesus. An angel appeared to Mary and told her that she would give birth to a son and that she should name him Jesus because he would be the Son of God and would save his people from their sins. Now, during this time, a man named Caesar Augustus was the leader of the Roman Empire, and he made a decision that they wanted to count how many people there were. And so everybody had to travel back to their hometown to be counted. This included Mary and her husband, Joseph. But when this happened, Mary was close to giving birth to Jesus. So Joseph took Mary and they traveled back from Galilee to their hometown of Bethlehem. But when they got there were so many people in Bethlehem that there was nowhere left to stay. Everywhere was full. And so they stayed in a barn. And that is where Mary gave birth to Jesus. She wrapped him in some cloth and laid him down in a manger. Jesus, the Son of God, the Savior of the world, was not born in a big castle with trumpets, but was born in a small barn and laid in a manger. I love that in the Bible, the story of Jesus is one of the coolest, most amazing, exciting stories, but things still went wrong. Just like in our lives, things can sometimes go wrong. And so Mary and Joseph are getting ready to have baby Jesus born, and then all of a sudden they've got to travel back to Bethlehem because they're counting all the people. And then they get there and there's nowhere for them to stay. All of the houses are full. Things are going wrong. Can you imagine how tired and how sad Mary and Joseph must have felt, being like, we just want somewhere to sit down? And then eventually the only place they can find, it's not in a fancy hotel and it's not in a nice big house with fancy beds and sheets. It's in a barn with animals. And out of all of the places that Jesus could have been born, he was born in a barn surrounded by smelly animals. And yet, it's still one of the most amazing moments in the Bible. You see, Mary and Joseph didn't give up. They knew that although things were hard and although things were going wrong, they knew that the birth of Jesus was going to be amazing. And so they persevered, they pushed through, they didn't give up. You see, the Bible says the exact same thing for you and me. It says, don't give up when you're doing good. Don't let yourself get tired when you're doing the right thing. Because when the time comes, that's when we see the good thing happen. Don't give up. And so I know for me in my life, there's been so many times when things have been challenging or difficult, but I've made that choice. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep pressing ahead because I know on the other side of that challenge, that's where there's something good waiting for me that God has already planned. And so that's our challenge for you and me. When things are going wrong, when they're not going your way, don't give up, because on the other side of the challenge, God has something good waiting for us.
Wow, thanks, Buckle. Imagine sleeping with the animals. It will be cold out there. Huh, Walter? That's true. The innkeepers had no rooms left, just like the sign Buckle sent us for the mystery item. What about you? Are you ready for the Bible quiz? See if you can get 3 out of 3. Do you have your listening ears on? Well, I'm going to ask you a question, and if you think the first answer is correct, put your hands on your head. And if you think the second answer is correct, put your hands on your shoulders. Okay, question number 1. What town did Mary and Joseph travel to? Did they go to the Gold Coast or did they go to Bethlehem? You've got 5 seconds. If you put your hands on your shoulders for Bethlehem, you're correct. Okay, question number 2. Where did baby Jesus sleep? In a cot or in a manger? You've got 5 seconds. If you put your hand on his shoulders, that was right. That one was tricky. Now it's question number 3. Who was in charge of the Roman Empire? Was it Caesar Augustus or a Caesar salad? You've got 5 seconds. It was Caesar Augustus. A Caesar salad can't be in charge of a whole empire. Wow, how many did you get right? Give yourself a pat on the back. That's amazing. Huh, Walter? We can't add a balcony to the gingerbread house. A sunroom? Walter! This sounds like a gingerbread mansion. Silly Walter. Well, I'm gonna start eating our gingerbread house now. Oh, sorry guys, I forgot to finish the show. I really enjoyed this week. And I can't wait to see you guys next week. But I'm Isla, and I'll see you next time on The Link Show. Bye!